The Road Accident Fund is currently being revamped. It will now be known as the Road Accident Fund Benefit Scheme. Authorities say the current claim system is faulty. Well, to find out exactly what kind of changes we can expect, we are joined in the studio by the CEO of the fund, Eugene Watson. Mr. Watson, good morning. Thank you very much for your time.
Morning, Dan. Thank you.
Just the RAF as it stands today and the new one that you are envisaging. Let's just unpack that.
Okay.
What's going to change? What difference you are envisaging here?
If we start at a base, we need to appreciate that for a long time, the RAF has had arguably one of the worst legacies in the public service. Over 3 years, we've worked to transform it. So we've doubled claim payments. We've reduced the backlog of claims. We have 3 clean orders. We're winning awards. Our team is working. As it works, you realize quite acutely that the amount of claims settled far exceeds the available money, which is why it's been insolvent since 1981. So the change to RABs is an exciting journey in which we finally take the bold step and bring an immediate end to the RAF, introducing a mechanism which is sustainable, equitable, beneficial and fair and affordable.
Are you getting enough income from the fuel levy?
We get a tremendous amount of money. We get over 3 billion rand a month since the Minister of Finance announced the 50 cents increase. Unfortunately, it's far from enough. If you wanted us to honor all the claims we've settled at the moment without continuing to improve our productivity, we'd literally need an additional rand per litre of fuel sold at every pump in our country on an ongoing basis.
Why is it not sufficient? Is it because of the amount of claims?
It's the design. Remember, this arrangement dates back to the 1940s. So you basically have funding through a fuel levy which is determined on affordability. What can motorists afford? But you have a law which is a bit like a menu, and it says this is what you're entitled to. And the funding and that menu have never aligned themselves. It's so wide that at the moment we have liabilities of 140 billion rand. The Minister of Finance in October spoke about the national budget deficit of 170 billion. That shows you the sheer scale on which the RAF dispensation just is no longer sustainable and must be brought to an end.
Now, the new scheme that you call it the RA benefits scheme, in terms of just at an individual level, how different is my experience going to be compared to the IRF going forward?
Sure. The Road Accident Benefit Scheme, already designed in 2002, basically says how badly were you injured, how are you affected, what are your needs. Based on your need, here's some income support for either you, the victim, or your family. Here's medical care against a treatment plan. Here's rehabilitation and vocational services available to you. There's a funeral benefit which is defined. And all of this then gets managed in a mechanism which is akin to a medical scheme as you know it today.
Yeah, but the RAF has been, as you said, beset with all kinds of problems. I mean, there's also been allegations of fraud against the RAF in the past. There's also been people in the public saying it takes too long.
Yes.
Are you envisaging that would change?
Sure. The long is because of the design of the RAF. The RAF is not there to care for you. It's by design, it's not social security. It's an insurance mechanism. It says, were you negligent? Were you at fault? To what extent? And what have you lost? So if you have nothing to lose, you'll get nothing. That excludes the poor. And if you weren't at fault, your benefit then is a better one.
So it takes time to answer these questions?
You have to prove that. You have to substantiate that. It's very legalistic. And of course, once the matter goes to court, as the vast majority of claims do, you have a 2-year waiting list on the court roll. When you move to RABs, you're no longer contesting fault, negligence, and loss. You're moving to basically saying, what do you need? What support can we give you? And please access it.
And that will be done very quickly in the future?
Absolutely. I mean, the pressing need is for us to do those two things.
And the relationship with the lawyers, I mean, I guess there are some lawyers who specialize in these kind of things. There's also been a little bit questionable in the past, but without mentioning particular cases. How do you foresee yourself, the benefit scheme, interfacing with the legal fraternity to facilitate their clients' claims and the relationship just generally with the fraternity?
That legal fraternity thrives off of the contestation currently. Under RABs, you don't have that contestation. So appeals are dealt with like a pension fund or medical scheme. I appreciate that you have this microeconomy. They live, thrive, and profit off of it. But the reality is this arrangement is just not sustainable. So we're moving to one that doesn't have those third-party intermediaries. You spoke about the ethics. Up to 20% of all our payouts go to third parties. then you still have some of the illegalities which we've read about, where contingency fees far above 25% are charged, and on a day-to-day basis you see people not getting what's due to them. But importantly, over the last few years we've convinced the public that the RAF is serious, we're transforming, and we see more and more people coming in directly. They buy into our mission, vision, values, and our service offering. So 1 in 3 new claims now come in directly. And this is arguably the most fantastic show of confidence by society in RF.
Where would you like to see that rate of direct claims?
Well, we'd certainly under the RAF would like to see it continue. We'd like to see it grow and grow to a point where people just come in directly. You don't go to UIF with an attorney. You don't go to SASSA with an attorney. So why, when it comes to this particular social service, do you need a third party? I think there's nothing that prohibits people using them. But our view is that you should come in directly.
And very briefly, are you going to do more and more to create awareness among ordinary South Africans that they can now come directly to the benefits scheme?
Absolutely, we're doing this. We've expanded our footprint. In the last 7 months, we've seen 29,000 people in their communities. The fact that 1 in 3 claims are direct tells you it's beginning to work. And we're going to continue. There's absolutely no reason why we shouldn't.
Thank you very much. That's the Road Accident Fund CEO Eugene Watson speaking to us about the changes that will be happening going forward.